motor rồi.
Jenang motor ya juga.
Hello. Mas disuruh kamu bawa kursi gini 4, ya dibawain.
Ini berapa?
Oh yang kayak gitu.
Both sides. Ayo kawan-kawan no. Boleh, mau aja. Kayak berapa?
In Brazil and sing.
Sing, oh,
Sing.
sing, no, mandali.
Tuan ni tuan ni.
Ini നടന്നോ ട്ടോ
Hello. I'm good. What about you?
Thank you. Some like that.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hello. How are you? Good. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.